So let's start. So there was some issue with yesterday's recording. So that's the reason why what I did is as of now instantly I've copied the record of another class, the JAXP topic, and actually it also includes RESTful services. So I couldn't cut that record. So you'll find that RESTful also in that. Okay, Sax parser is missing, so let me find out another record for Sax parser also, and I'll try to upload it. Okay, so old record. Yesterday's record has got some problem. Yeah. So with the same concepts, I've uploaded already one record. Not only that, but we have more than that actually in it. We have RESTful services also. So though we are going to talk about it, yes. It was a long session, one of the weekend session. I guess it is around 3.5 hours or so. Okay, just changed the time and uploaded it. So, um, so in the last class we saw unmarshaller, and now you know what basically the unmarshaller does. So today we'll see marshaller. Yes. So what a marshaller does? Yes. What exactly the marshaller does? So marshaller, it is responsible for transforming, yes, Java objects to XML. Java objects to XML. We saw unmarshaller, which does this XML to Java objects transformation. Okay, let's use marshaller. Basically, the marshaller it takes Java objects and transforms them into XML. Okay, so first of all, just let me just copy. I have that code of creating the objects and all. Just a minute, I'll show you people. Okay, so first of all, we need to obtain a marshaller object here. You have a method create marshaller, which returns the marshaller object. In just a minute. Okay, So first of all, you see what we are trying to do is we are trying to obtain a marshaller object, so which is used for marshalling the data. Yes, that means transforming the Java objects to XML format. So after obtaining that marshaller, now what we are doing is here, it is all just creation of objects, populating them with some data. Just check this once, all of you. Just check this code once. So we are creating that address objects, and then we are creating an item object, item objects, and then purchase order type object. And you see we are passing that address object reference here. So we are using the same address basically for ship to and bill to address. Yes. Okay. Next we are passing that items object reference, and we are adding some comment. And for this date, okay, order date. So to create that date object and all, so I'm calling a static method which is defined in the same class. Okay, we are calling a static method which is defined in the same class here. Okay, yes. So let's see this class. Let's see this method get XML Gregorian calendar, where we are just writing the code to create this object, Gregorian calendar object. Yes. Here, now we can create a Gregorian calendar object, that's not a problem. But now to transform that date into XML format, we can't use that Gregorian calendar object directly. Okay, we cannot use that Gregorian calendar object directly. So for that, instead what we are doing here, the Gregorian calendar object reference, so we are wrapping it in another object. What is it? XML Gregorian calendar object. Okay, XML Gregorian calendar object. Yes. So how we are creating this XML Gregorian calendar object? You see, for that we're using this data type factory object. In the data type factory object, we have this method called as new XML Gregorian calendar object, and you're passing the Gregorian calendar object reference here. Okay, yes. So once you call that method, you see that method returns the Gregorian XML Gregorian calendar object reference. So which is very compatible to transform that date to XML format, I can say. Okay, yes. So it will be easy to transform the date, Gregorian calendar date to XML format, I can say. Okay, yes. So this is the procedure for creating that object. And you see, I'm passing that, I'm calling that method which returns that XML Gregorian calendar object reference. We are setting it in that date variable, order date variable. The last thing what we are doing is here in the marshaller, we got this method called as set property. So we'll call this method, and we have a method, a field or a property called as JAXP formatted output. We got a field or variable called as JAXP formatted output, so that property name, you see, sorry, for that property with the name JAXP formatted output, we are assigning this value true. We are setting that property value to true. So what happens if you set the property value to true? You'll find that the marshaller, now we're asking the marshaller to format that XML content which it generates. Okay, we are asking it to format that XML content which it generates here. We are asking it to format the XML content, I can say. So that is what we are doing here. That's it. Simply asking it to format that XML content. That means what it does is it will neatly edit that XML content and present it in a file. So it will add it to a file here. Okay. So that is what it does. Otherwise, you know what happens if you don't set this property, then all that XML content which is generated, so it will be in a single line. You will find that it won't be properly edited. It will not be properly edited here. Yes, fine. So is this clear? Whatever code we have so far, we'll see next how to marshal this. First of all, is this clear? Can I have yes or no? If you got any doubts, please let me know. Okay. So now let's ask the marshaller to marshal this data. So in the marshaller, we have a method called as marshal. Call this method and pass that purchase order type object, which in turn holds the references to other objects also. Next, you know what, here after that march data is that sorry after that XML data is generated. So what to do with that XML data? What to do with that XML data? So I would like that XML data to be added to a file here. Okay, I would like that data to be added to a file, XML file. So here, see, for that I'll pass that file name here. You need to pass that file name. Let's say sample.xml. That's it. Okay. Into which file that XML data has to be stored. Into which file that XML data has to be stored. That file name, we are passing it here explicitly. That's it. So this is what we'll do. Okay. Yes. So now let's run this code. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not printing any output here. So the code is executed. Now where is that file? Sample.xml file. Was it earlier existing? I can say no. It was not existing. So it will be created now. Within the same project it will be created. Okay. Yes. So let's try to refresh this project. Okay. We'll try to refresh this project here. Yes. So I'll do that. Refresh the project. So once you do that, you see you got the sample.xml. Earlier it was not there. You see, check this data here. Yep. So this is nicely formatted. Yep. So any questions in this regard, please let me know. So this way you see, you can transform the Java objects to XML format. It's also pretty simple and straightforward. So this is what a marstar does. This is how you can use that Chaxby API. Okay, this is how we can use this Chaxby API here. Yes. You know, Jaxp API is actually called as a data binding API. Data binding API. So, which helps us to process XML data. Not only that, you saw that both either ways, XML to Java objects to XML. You know, we have data binding frameworks also. You see, this Jaxp API is a standard API, but you will find that we have data binding frameworks also. So have you people ever heard about this data binding frameworks? No? Data binding frameworks. So we have a few data binding frameworks like, Castor XML, and we got XML beans. We call them as data binding frameworks. So, you know, this Castor XML and XML beans also do the same thing, nothing different. But you will find that they are third-party frameworks. I'll show you people. I'm not going to teach you people it again. So because it is everything same, the only thing is slightly the API or the classes will be different, but at the end you'll be doing the same thing here also. Yes, let's see. So this is the official site. where you have complete details about this Castor XML. You see, I'm pasting that link. You please go through it. You know, generally we saw that mappings. We saw the mappings, right? So that mappings, you'll find that when it comes to JAXB, how did we map that Java classes to XML? How did we map the Java classes to XML? Java classes to XML mapping. How did we do that? So we have used annotations for that object to XML mapping. We have used annotations. That's right. You know, but when it comes to the Castor XML, will map Java classes to XML using XML files itself here. We'll be using XML files itself. Okay, yes, that is one difference which you'll see here. For example, here this is a sample example of it. Now this class here, you see, is mapped to, you got this mapping. The class name is my XML. Let me see if we have a better example. I guess there are certain examples. Let me see. Yeah, for example, you see, we have this class called as my order. If you can see this, my order. Now we have got this fields like string reference, client data, items vector, client, sorry, client is a reference variable, items total. So these are the properties of that class. Now client data is another class, name and address. You got item, reference, quantity and unit price. These are the classes which you got. Check them once. I'll give you this link. You can just refer to it. Okay, already I gave you that, right? Now you see this mappings here. Now this class called as my order. It is mapped to which XML element? Can you people tell me by looking at this mapping details here? It is mapped to which XML element? It is mapped to order. Yes. That field reference, it is mapped to which XML element again? It is again reference itself. That XML element name is also reference. Yep. Yep. And that field total, it is mapped to which XML element? The total. It is mapped to total price. Yes. It is mapped to total price here. Okay. So this way you'll find that the mappings is done here. So class to XML mappings, you'll find that. You can call it as OXM. Yes, OXM. So later on, you see, we have this code also. First of all, you see, we load that XML file. You see here also we got a component called as unmarshaller. And you see what you're doing here, you'll call this unmarshal method and pass that XML file name. And straight away you'll get that my order object. So because it is almost similar, so that's the reason why I'm not talking about it again. So I want you people to just refer to this one. And remember that we have a data binding framework which does the same as your Jaxby does. Okay. Yes, this is the official site where you'll find this Castor XML. Okay. Yep. Similarly, we have XML beans also. XML beans. So this is also does the same. You see, XML beans is a technology for accessing XML by binding it to Java types. Binding XML to Java types. Okay. So now you have some tutorials here. You see, again, this one is also a little similar to your to the other data binding frameworks you saw. I want you people to just check this one. Okay, XML beans. We'll leave it to you people. I'm pasting the link here. XML beans is from Apache. Couple of links. Okay, refer to that. Now with this, I can say that now you are comfortable working. You should be able to comfortably work with XML. Okay. Yeah. Next, I'm going to talk about just a second. What happened? You have next thing which we are going to talk about is web services. So XML plays a key role in web services. You should know this. Now, I want to listen from you people about web services here. So, can you people tell me something about web services? Whatever you know. Web services. Web services. Calling a function from one system to another system. Okay. Don't hesitate. Whatever you know, tell me. So it's always good to involve in the discussion. Yeah. So it has consumer and producer flow. So you mean to say it is based on producer and consumer concept? Okay. And what else? Method calling over a network. Okay. You mean a remote method call? Remote method call, right? Okay. And what else? By implementing web services, other applications can, okay, got a couple of answers. Other applications can reuse, okay, for code reusability, okay. It will enable cross-platform communication. Yes, that is also right. Okay, fine. So now I will give you one definition from my side. Please make a note of it. A web service is a piece of business logic that is accessible through standards based internet protocols such as HTTP. Uses standardized extensible markup language, XML. Extensible markup language means XML, for communicating with other applications. Next is platform independent and language independent. Please make a note of it, I'll explain it. Let me know once you're done. So let me know once you're done. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. So a web service is a piece of business logic. Business logic means business logic means right? What is business logic? Business logic means, come on, logical or functional code. Okay, so the code which has got some functionality, specific functionality. The code I can say which implements business rules. The code which implements the business rules, I can say. So generally, we'll be developing an application for our clients, right? So we'll be developing an application for our clients. So that application will help the clients in their day-to-day business activities. So implementing that, functionalities which are needed for the for the clients and all. Okay, so that is what your business logic is. Is implementing that business rules. Okay, providing that functionalities which are needed for the clients in their day-to-day business activities, I can say. So it can be any functionality. Next, so in the web service, what you'll have business logic in it or some functionality in it. So web service, you see, is accessible through standard-based internet protocols such as HTTP. You see, basically you'll find that web applications, they are web-based itself. Basically, web applications, I can say that they are web-based applications itself. Yes. They are web-based applications which can be accessed through HTTP protocol, a standard protocol like HTTP. So next, user standardized extensible markup language. You see, web services, you'll find that most of the times they use this XML for communicating with other applications. So you see, in order to exchange the data, you know, XML is used in web services. Okay, yeah, just a second. So why is XML used here? So in web services, why is XML used? We'll see. That is an important discussion again. Okay, yes. Next, web services, platform independent and language independent. So what does that means? Platform independent and language independent. Yes. Yes. Platform and language independent. Means you see, we can access this web services across the platforms. Okay, they are accessible across the platforms. So there is no restriction, and they are language independent. Means it indicates that the web service developed using a particular language. For example, if you develop a web service using Java, you'll find that you can access it using a .NET application, a PHP, or any other application. Okay, it can be accessed using any other application. Yes, that's right. So a web service, that you see, I got one answer from Anupama. Java-based web service can be consumed by Java, .NET, or any other language. Yes, it is language independent. That's right. If it is a web service, that is a facility which you'll see. Normally, you see, if you develop a Java application, you can only access it from another Java application. The functionalities which you got here in that application can be accessed by another Java application. So, but if it is a web service, not only Java applications, but other than Java applications can also access this web service. They can consume it. They can avail the services of a web service, I can say. Fine. So that is what language independent means. Okay. Yes. So now why XML is used here for communicating with other applications? That means especially it is used for data, transmitting the data and all. So what do you people think why XML is used here? Why XML is used in web services? To define a standard. Okay. Because as I told you people, web services are, yes, language and platform independent. So any other language will be able to, or any other application which is developed using any language can be used to access this web service. So that means now when two applications communicate with each other, when they interact with each other, they will be exchanging some data. So that data which you got here, which is exchanged between these two applications, that data also should be platform independent and language independent, right? The data should be very much language and platform independent. So XML data, you see, it is not specific to any language or it is not specific to any platform. That's the reason why XML is used here. That's the reason why XML is used. Yes. So hope you people got it. Fine. Now, when we talk about the development of web services, when we talk about the development of web services, let's see how it is done here. So you'll find that when we talk about web services, we have two different types of web services. You know that two different types of web services are there. What are they? Yes. So you'll find that we have RESTful and SOAP based. SOAP services. RESTful and SOAP web services, I can say. You got RESTful web services and SOAP based web services. Yeah. Okay. Now, uh, we'll discuss about the differences and all later on. So as of now, let's see like what kind of support we have here in Java to develop these two different types of services here. Okay. Yes. In order to develop RESTful web services, you know, in Java we got an API that is JAX-WS. JAX-WS stands for Java API for XML web services, I can say. Java API for XML web services. And apart from this, here we have this is a standard API. I'm sorry. So first of all, this is a standard API. Sorry, not JAX-WS. I'm sorry. JAX-WS is for SOAP. Okay, we have JAX-RS here. JAX-RS, Java API for XML and RESTful services. So these are the standard APIs. Standard APIs means Java itself has provided these two APIs. Yeah, Java itself has provided these two APIs. Yeah. So we can use this JAX-Stub RS API for developing RESTful web services. But JAX RS is not enough. Alone, it is not enough. You need a Jersey or REST-easy. When you use JAX RS API to develop RESTful web services, okay, along with the JAX RS, you will need Jersey or REST-easy. So, is anyone familiar with Jersey or REST-easy? Yes. Anyone got any idea about Jersey or REST-easy? We say Jersey or REST-easy is a reference implementation of both are reference implementations. We say reference implementations for JAX RS API. Okay, so Jersey and REST-easy both are reference implementations of JAX RS API. Yes. Please make a note of it. So reference implementation means what? I'll just try to compare it. I'll tell you people. Here when I say reference implementation means we can relate it to JDBC API and JDBC drivers. We can relate it to JDBC API and JDBC drivers. So what is the relationship between JDBC API and JDBC drivers? Can you people tell me? JDBC API and JDBC drivers. Oh, okay. That means yes, that's right. You'll find that JDBC API, you'll find that you have interfaces in that JDBC API. Most of the part of to the maximum extent in JDBC API, you'll find that you have interfaces. And who implements this interfaces? JDBC drivers. So you know that JDBC drivers are nothing but set of classes which implement JDBC API. In the JDBC API is all about set of classes which implements JDBC API interfaces. Here, even a similar relationship exists between JAX RS API and the Jersey or STC. You can think of it as implementation classes here. Okay, reference implementations means Jersey or STC. They are from two different open source communities. They basically provide the classes which implement JDBC API interfaces. I can say they implement JDBC API interfaces. Sorry, not JDBC, JAX-RS API. They implement JAX-RS API. Whatever the interfaces we have in JAX-RS, they are implemented by Jersey or REST-easy. You can use Jersey or REST-easy, any one of it. Okay, yeah. We don't need to use both at once. So always, along with the JAX-RS API, so either you have to use Jersey or REST-easy. So JAX-RS API alone is not going to work. Okay, yeah. Now, actually, you'll find that this RESTful services, they are based on architectural style. We say it is based on architectural style, and RESTful services, they're designed specially designed to work with HTTP protocol. RESTful web services, they're completely based on HTTP protocol. I can say RESTful web services. Okay, RESTful web services, they're completely based on HTTP protocol. Next, when we talk about SOAP here, okay, and one more thing, if you want the full form of REST, I'll give you. Make a note of it. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. Representational State Transfer. Okay. Yes. That is what HTTP stands for. Sorry, REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It is based on an architectural style, so we'll talk about it. Next, when we talk about SOAP based web services, SOAP web services, you'll find that they are this type of web services, they are based on the protocol called as SOAP. SOAP is actually a protocol. Okay, it stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. Simple Access Object Protocol. Okay, just a minute, please. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry. So yeah, sorry. So is anyone familiar with soap? Is anyone familiar with soap? Soap. So soap, you know, you can think of it as similar to your HTTP. So why do we use HTTP? Why do we use HTTP? HTTP, why do we use it? That web client and web browser, basically they communicate with each other or they interact with each other, right? Using this HTTP protocol. Yes. So the clients and server, they both interact with each other with the help of HTTP. So you see here, the SOAP protocol is also used by the web service client and web service to communicate with each other, to interact with each other, I can say. Okay, a web service and a web service client, they both can communicate with each other with the help of this SOAP protocol. Okay, you know, SOAP has got something. It is something special. You'll find that SOAP protocol is actually XML based. SOAP protocol is actually XML based, I can say. Okay, it is based on XML. That means that messages which are exchanged between the web service client and web service will be in the XML format itself. So here also you'll have SOAP request and SOAP response. You'll find that whenever a web service client wants to place a request on the web service client means an application which wants to avail the services of a web service or consume the web services. Okay, so that application is called as a client application, web service client. So whenever a web service client wants to place a request, he constructs a SOAP request and sends it to the server, which is basically XML based itself. It is XML based. Yeah. So and that web service, once it is done processing a web service client, a web service request, you see, it will send a response. So that response also will be XML based itself. That response is also XML based. Yes. Yeah. So you see, we can develop that SOAP-based web services using JAX WS API. This is one of the standard APIs provided by Java. Apart from that, we have APIs like Access2, Apache Access2, which is actually used for developing the SOAP-based web services, I can say. Okay. Yes. So, so as part of this training, so you're going to learn how to develop web services, RESTful web services using JAX RS with the Jersey implementation, JAX RS with Jersey. Okay, and apart from that, you're going to learn how to develop SOAP-based web services using JAX WS and Access2 frameworks. Okay, yeah, Access2 is a framework. Okay, so we can develop web service either using Access2 or JAX WS. Okay, yeah. So these are all the feasibilities which you got here. Okay. Yes. Now the next thing is we should start developing RESTful web services. I'll teach you people RESTful web services first of all. Okay. Yeah. But I'll start it in the next session. Today I'll leave you people here. So tomorrow we'll have a class at our regular time. So where I will be starting with development of RESTful web services. So we are going to use a tool called as Maven. Okay, I'm going to also introduce you people to a tool called as Maven. So with Maven, we'll see how to create this projects, how to handle this project development and all using this build tool. Yeah. And so we got a class tomorrow at same time. And yeah, the SAX parser topic is missing because yesterday there was some issue with the records. I have added it from another class record. I have to find out SAX parser record also from another class, and I'll try to upload it. Okay, yeah, fine. So that's all for today then. So we got a class tomorrow at same time. Yeah, thank you all. Bye bye.